Kevin, a defeat today against Nuneaton. In terms of the performance, what would you say was missing today?
Everything. I thought it was a really poor performance, I think, from us. Had one or two moments in the first half really, but I think overall it was as poor a performance I've seen certainly for this year. The passing was below standard, what we expect from the players that we had out there today. The energy levels, picking up second balls, and second half was just a really flat performance from us. So I think overall, really disappointed in the group really today. I think we know we're missing a couple of key players, and we had one or two coming back from injury who looked like just off the pace a little bit, but no excuse from us. It was just a really poor performance overall.
The only goal came midway through the first half. Daniel Lenti got it, a cross from the right, who seemed to turn in the box, and deflected shot went in. What was your take on it?
I haven't seen it back yet, but I think we've worked on things in terms of getting numbers back to. Obviously, we conceded 6 goals in the last couple of games before today, so I think it might have come from a throw-in again. We knew they had a couple of long throws, but looks like it's gone back out. He's managed to pull the ball down, and it looks like he's just turned and got his shot away without any pressure on the ball from behind or in front. So it's hard for me to really comment on it, but it looks a really poor one to concede really. I don't think John's really had too much to do, and neither is their keeper. I can't remember a shot on target today from us, so disappointing with that really, because we had some, a good team out there, good players out there, people had the opportunity to come in and step in today, and didn't really take it.
When the goal came, there was enough time to get back into the game, plenty of time. At first, you seemed to get into some good positions, plenty of crosses into the box, but I'd just say as the game went on, it really did seem to fall flat. Why do you think it was flat? Why was it that struggle to get into your stride?
I'm not sure, it just felt like one of those days. Like I said, we'd had a really good week's training again. I think it was nice and bright, a really good atmosphere around the place. We've kept it really hard working, prepared, as we always do in terms of the preparation, showing the videos, putting the game plan in place for the players to approach the game and win the game. I think we had a spell, started the game fairly well. Charles got in a couple of times, and we knew exactly how they played. They were quite narrow, played with a diamond in midfield as we expected, and we felt that the key areas for us was to get out wide. And I think our wide players were not as effective as they have been in previous games really. We know we've got quality in there with the wingers, that's why Dawson and Dion played. Obviously Dion played up front today, but we wanted to play with those kind of players because we felt we could hurt them out wide, but I thought they defended well, and I thought it just didn't go for us today. I think it was frustrating at times, but we had one or two moments I think in the first half where we put good balls in across the box and just didn't manage to have anyone on the end of them. So it just felt like it was going to be one of them days, unfortunately.
How big a miss is Jack Sampson in games like this in terms of his presence, his link-up play, the job he does for the team? Yeah,
I think so. I think it was obvious that we kept, if we were going to keep the goal kicks etc., the balls kept coming back a little bit, and we felt we had to pick up those second balls and then start playing in their half if we can. We didn't pick up enough second balls, and obviously Jack gives us that physical presence. Dan Coquelin as well, they've both been injured at the same time. They're my 2 target men really, so we felt we had to try and play a different way today because we don't have them available, hence trying to get into wide areas and get crosses in the box and try and get one of the midfielders on the edge of the box for pullbacks and things. So the game plan was there for us, but unfortunately we couldn't produce in those wide areas. But Jack's he's been a big miss for us. He's really important to this team, and he gives us that presence. He can hold the ball up and bring others into play, and I thought our players up there today really struggled for us, but if you're not doing that you have to be doing other things, and I think we had too many passengers today. So we'll watch the game back and we'll analyse that, and we'll go again for next week really.
How is Jack?
Yeah, I think he had a scan 2 or 3 days ago. We're just still waiting for the results on that, and I think best case scenario is there's some sort of bruising on the bone. Hopefully it's nothing more than that, so I'm not too sure if he'll be back before the end of the season next week. We have to wait until we get the results, hopefully start of the week, but we'll have to wait and see. I mean, there's only 3 weeks to the season to go, isn't there? So we're hopeful we can have him back to play a part, because there's a lot of games to come up in a short space of time. So yep, he's been good for us this year. I think I'd picked up a couple of injuries, but we've certainly missed him.
I know the past 3 matches which have ended in defeats, I know they've been different types of matches, but when you compare them, especially the 2 defeats at home, when you compare them to the previous games, what overall do you think is missing, and what do you kind of expect as you look ahead going to the remaining games?
Well, listen, we've just been having a chat there, myself and Macca. I think we've missed players. Graham Kelly again come back from his accident, his car crash and stuff, and again coming today, David Morgan's been crucial to the way we play. Jack Sampson, David Lynch out today. They're key players for us, and they've been key part of the success. But like I say, we try and build the squad, and we have been a bit light on numbers, and we've managed to bring 2 or 3 on loan to bolster that and give us those numbers, and an opportunity for them to come in as well. So I think when you're missing 3 or 4 of your key players, it will hurt you at any level, particularly when you've got a squad of 16, 17 players or whatever we've got at the minute. So yeah, we don't look for any excuses. I think we were looking for the right response today, and we didn't get it. As simple as that. I think it was a poor performance. We've had some good performances here, and it's, you know, we got a few boos at the end, and I expected really, because we didn't really trouble them enough as we should have really. So I've never been one to make excuses. I thought the players were a little bit disappointing today. I've said to them, you can sometimes afford to carry maybe 1 or 2 players against anyone in this league, but when you've got 7, 8, 9 players off it, you're going to get punished really, and that was the case today. So disappointing to take. I thought the performance at York was good. We controlled the game after 10-15 minutes, took the game to them, and a little bit unfortunate really in the end not to get anything there. And I thought Arperton, we played well at times, but conceding goals, and we've worked hard on keeping the clean sheets, keeping the formation, keeping the units and all those things together. And like I say, they didn't really trouble us today, but disappointing we conceded a goal, and it's a disappointing run for us. So the players, they know that. We've explained that to them. You know, there's been lots of good things going on, I think, since Christmas. The last couple of weeks have been disappointing.
Just finally, 6 games to go. I think 3.5 weeks to play them, and it's going to be a busy schedule. As a manager, how do you deal with the demands of such a rigorous schedule? And how big are these 6 games coming up? How important are they looking at the table?
Well, they're massive, and listen, that felt like it was an end of season performance, and it wasn't really acceptable. So that's my job and Macca to get in on Monday. Obviously, we'll watch the game back and analyse that, and obviously starting to prepare for Blythe, which will, you know, at home it's a tough game. We know we've got tough games coming up. From my point of view, before the game, the message was clear. We've got 6-7 games to prove yourself. This was a winnable game today. We've not won it. We wanted to set up those last 6 games against the top teams, because I want to know where they are as a squad. I'm sure everybody here wants to know that we want to compete with the top 6-7 teams in this league. That's what I've been brought here to do. So it'd be nice to get the win and then go and approach those games and see where we stand. And I think come the end of this period of games, I'll know a lot more about my squad of players. And I've told the players that they're playing for their futures, for me, for the club, regardless if they've got contracts or not. And if they can't deal with that pressure, then we know what that means. So the players know exactly where they stand. You know, because we've done so well since Christmas, it's hard to be too critical, but I think the demands that I've said all along I will keep putting on the players to achieve and to do well for this club, because we want success, we want to get promoted, and I'm building a squad clearly for next year to get promoted. So the players and everybody at the club knows exactly where they stand, and over the next 6 games they have to prove to me, Macca and everyone at the club, that they're worthy of their spot for next year.
Appreciate your time.
No problem. Thank you.
Cheers, Phil.